This is The Scoop for Monday.
I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines. In a case closely watched by business and environmental groups, on Friday, a U.S. District Judge finalized his rejection of a 2020 move by the federal government to shift permitting authority to Florida for projects that affect wetlands. The judge issued an opinion that, as he acknowledged, likely will set the stage for the case to go to an appeals court. Friday's opinion came after a February ruling in which the judge vacated the transfer of permitting authority because he said federal officials had not followed required steps before making the decision in 2020. On Saturday, about 30 pro-Palestinian demonstrators took to the streets of Sarasota to demand a ceasefire in Gaza. WMNF's Josh Holton reports that while the march was peaceful, tensions were high.
Free, free, freelancer! Free, free,
That's Raheem, a young boy using a megaphone for the first time. His mother, Dana Saleh, is a Palestinian and said her family was displaced from their home in 1948 and landed in the West Bank.
But if my grandpa decided to go to the Gaza side, we could have been anyways, under the rubble, maybe.
She said she can't see herself voting for Joe Biden after Israel's assault on Gaza has left more than 10,000 children dead.
I want him to see to actually cease fire, to not send any more weapons.
But the chance for a free Palestine ignited the ire of pro-Israeli onlookers who wanted to highlight the Hamas attack last year.
Israel's 9/11! Israel's 9/11!
One of those onlookers assaulted protester Luna Cassandra.
And she came up to me and started screaming, "Why do you have a mask on? What are you scared of?" And then she grabbed at my mask on my face. And luckily a bunch of people, intercepted and stopped her and just broke it up.
A vehicle also nearly ran into the crowd as they were on a crosswalk, prompting a protester to strike the car in response. Neither the driver nor the person allegedly hit by the car cooperated with law enforcement on the scene, and no charges were filed. For WMNF News, I'm Josh Holton in Sarasota.
Governor Ron DeSantis signed controversial bills supporting law enforcement on Friday. Here's more from WMNF's Jimmy Rosilio.
DeSantis signed SB 184 and HB 601. Both regard law enforcement. The first, known as the HALO bill, establishes that an actively working officer can make people stay 25 feet away if the person harasses them. Many worry it might be used to prevent citizens from effectively recording officers. The second bill prevents investigations of local law enforcement officers by civilian review boards. Instead, the group must be directed by a local sheriff or police chief. DeSantis said this to the press on Friday.
The sheriffs and the chief of police, they have an interest in ensuring that their personnel are conducting themselves appropriately as well. I mean, good order and discipline is very important, but it can't be people that have an agenda.
For WMNF News, I'm Jimmy Rosilio.
One of the largest projects undertaken by the Tampa Parks and Recreation Department has begun. WMNF's Chris Young reports on the groundbreaking of a new recreation complex Friday in East Tampa.
Community leaders and developers gathered to celebrate the groundbreaking at Fair Oaks Park near Middleton High School in East Tampa. Tampa City Council member Gwendolyn Henderson represents District 5.
People say stuff not happening in East Tampa. You let them know you's a lie. That is not true. That is not true. We are developing East Tampa. We care about East Tampa.
The $34.7 million project was approved by Tampa City Council last month. The centerpiece is a 33,000 square foot center with a gym, classrooms, and dedicated space for seniors. The project will also have basketball and pickleball courts. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor spoke at the groundbreaking.
And this hasn't been an easy road that we have traveled, but I think we can all agree that it is definitely worth it.
But Tampa City Council member Bill Carlson doesn't agree. He says the park is outrageously expensive and criticized the bidding process for the construction.
As a policy person or a business person, you have to look at the total expense, not just the capital expense, because my great-grandkids, if I have any, are going to be paying for the park.
The new recreation center is expected to open in fall 2025, and the entire complex is scheduled to be completed in spring 2026. For WMNF News, I'm Chris Young in Tampa.
Today, mostly sunny and hot. Highs will be in the high 80s. Mostly clear tonight with overnight lows in the low 60s. And partly cloudy and hot tomorrow with highs in the high 80s. I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.